Hello everyone, welcome to Fiaura, and welcome to Dungeon Rushers. This is a, it's an RPG, let's just be honest. It is a tactical turn-based RPG, in which you not only have turns on the battle, but you have turns on the map. Now, you have a couple different varieties of characters here. I'm still missing two of them, apparently. There's still two more characters to be added to my party. As you can see, you can give them gear. A lot of basic RPG stuff we've come to know and love. Magical power, mana, life, attack, speed, stamina for special abilities in the dungeon, whereas speed is initiative. Critical hit chance, chance to reduce damage, magical resistance, physical resistance, special effects they're currently under. All that sorts of stuff. Let's go actually take a look at the options. Options are pretty bare bones. There is no graphical option because it's assumed that apparently that every computer can run this. Music, which by the way, the music is a very, very nice loot. It fits. It works. You can full screen or unfull screen. I prefer borderless window for the purposes of recording. I would appreciate it if they would give me borderless window. You have all the resolution settings that I could think of. They even go beyond 1920 by 1080. This is just, what I normally play on. I have not unlocked my dungeons or the arena yet. I've played for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours now. And there is some grinding to it. You are going to have to go back and do some previous dungeons to get more XP. But then there's also, these bonus challenges, and once you complete the bonus challenges, you can do a heroic mode of that dungeon. So there's a lot of replayability of old dungeons as you progress through the campaign, and apparently the campaign does require you to go to all of these regions. So it is a fairly large and encompassing game. Now there's two types of dungeons I've discovered. There's the basic dungeons, and then there is the big dungeon. The big dungeon has multiple. The basic dungeons are all pre-generated. That means that every time you go into one of these, it's going to be the exact same. However, the big dungeon is procedurally generated. And for this review, we are actually going to try the 5th level of the big dungeon. I set this up specifically for the review. Now, here is your dungeon walking screen. And we're going to go over shop and everything after this. And then we're going to go look at the Steam pages we normally do. And then I'll, let you guys know if I approve of it or not. So this screen has your characters over here, which you can again equip, use potions between battles on, and during battle it actually costs you an action, and generally gives you capabilities for your characters. Now, right now, I'm actually going to equip. I want to equip the axe. I want to make this attack more powerful, even though it reduces his initiative a little bit. I can live with that. And we want to make sure you're geared up for magical attack. You're a bard, and magical attack is your thing. Go figure. You're still using this iron sword. Let's actually give you the iron dagger, because as nice as the sword is for parrying, I want you to go faster. Just making some little quick adjustments here, and that would go up in this necklace slot, which I've already given you something for. That would lower your initiative further. I really don't want to do that because I'm finding that speed wins a lot of the time during these battles. It's kind of unfortunate how that is set up, but basically speed wins. But we'll take the negative and just test it out just to see if we like it. Okay, so we're going to use one of the abilities called Pathfinder, which is going to reveal part of the map. And these are battles, monster battles, and that's a trap. So let's go towards the trap, show you guys how it works. Now, before the battle, if you happen to have an ability that can be used, you can use it. But again, this takes up stamina. Stamina is what is used on the dungeon map itself. In battle, you use mana and hit points. We are not going to use it in the case of this one. We're going to save it. Because, as you can see, that's why speed kills us, because you can stop them from acting altogether. Let's see. Or we could poison. Stab him. We need to kill him before he goes. And that's what we're going to do. Because the archer's basically going to get to go again no matter what I do. plays a note that is lethal to the enemy. That is thoroughly entertaining. I wish I had a character that could actually cast healing spells. I'm going to be abusing that a little bit. So we go towards the trap. Now we find out it's a mechanical trap, which means you can unset it, or you can have your dwarf person rush in here and suffer its effects instead of the rest of the team. I'm going to saboteur it, so we don't have to deal with it. It's gone. And you move into that square. Now, you have shrines, chests, fountains, all sorts of stuff in the dungeon, and if you choose to inspect them, it creates an event. The event can be a curse, blessing, or a surprise. Curse means that we are now suffering a negative effect. So we can click on our member here, and we can see -2 strength. This is strength. So basically, our damage, our physical damage, is reduced for the next 2 rounds of combat. We're actually not going to lullaby you guys again, because I don't see any sense in it yet. We are going to stab him, and then we're going to use the whirlwind special attack, because he hits the entire row with it. And then we're going to use, we're actually going to use the protection song, because it gives all of us additional physical resistance, which means we take less damage. As you can see, it increases physical resistance by 20%. And now we're going to stab you, and we're going to hammer you, and we're going to play a bad musical note at your face, and that's a critical hit. The loot items, they're either going to be items you can use or items you can craft with. You're going to get gold as well. You only get to keep it if you finish the dungeon or retreat. So we're actually going to use Pathfinder again here. See, it tells me magical trap or monster fight. And the monster fight leads nowhere. So we're going to go to the magical trap. Or it's a regular mechanical trap, excuse me. So that's going to burn out our lead character here. He's basically a rogue / kid. Now this looks scary. We're going to put him to sleep. So they skip their first round of combat. As you can see, as you get more characters, everything gets a lot better for you. We're going to smack you. And smack you. And see, I want them to skip their round of combat, so we're going to just reinforce the armor. And now it's their turn. Poison is his best option. Bring the hammer down! And play the bad note. Now we took a hit. And see, the thing is you want to try to take as little damage as possible, I've discovered. And that often means that you're not really... that speed wins. The faster you go in combat, the less likely you are to take damage. We can... once you find the dungeon chest, though, that's the end of the dungeon. Which, you guys can see all the mechanics at this point. You can see how this works. Lullaby. Because I want to explore more of the dungeon. Get more loot. Get more stuff. Go for him. Bring the hammer down. Fortify our armor. Slap him. And see, that's all of your attacks usually have something added to them, like armor break or weakness or something that there's a chance of having happen and that the enemy will have to resist. Let's inspect it. We get a blessing, which means we get a random buff. So right now, as you guys can see, that is a random buff. +2 strength. Everyone has more strength now. Inspect. It's a curse, which means we get a random debuff. And that is bad, because that's poison on everyone. So with poison on everyone, I think it's just time to leave this one. $70 loot. We get an amulet. We get some iron to craft with. And that is the end of the manor. We've now explored all 5 floors. Bonus, finish all floors. Finish the first floor. We did. So here's the shop. Now the shop randomly has 8 items. Every time you complete a dungeon, the shop resupplies its items. In this case, because of how valuable health potions are, I'm buying the health potion. The thing to make health potions. Iron. The strap. Remove negative effects. And we'll take the amulet of strength. Why not? I'm not buying everything, you old hag. I'm buying almost everything. Okay, so we're going to sell a few things back to her. The amulet of strength. Why didn't you use that? I'm not quite sure I want to use the ashen bow at all, so we'll get rid of it. And everybody has iron helms already, so we can get rid of those. And we're not actually going to use these swords, so we can get rid of those. Now the next place that I have unlocked right now is the workshop. Here you have a craftsman, and as you craft more stuff, he gets experience, and therefore it unlocks new things. The problem is that it's isolated by category, so he has to craft by category. Little annoying for me, but I can kind of understand why they would do it. Okay, we need flax for that. Or we could craft draft beer or bazooka beer. Either way, they're all beers, so you get drunk. Yes, your characters get intoxicated, and it is a debuff. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Till it's not. Looking for vampire teeth, oddly enough. Vampire teeth. We've leveled it up there. We haven't leveled it up here. And we're going to figure out... Who does not... Does everybody have amulets? You don't. You do. You do. So let's just make an amulet real quick, just to show you guys, like, how that works. Amulet of mana. There. And he has an amulet of mana now. Actually, we wanted to give him an amulet of deeds, so it gives him more stuff that he can burn through. So, and a lot of the times you're just taking your crafting stuff and going in here and dropping it, because you don't want it. You're not really going to use it, I find. So that completes this dungeon. And this is, now let's show you guys the regular dungeon, and then we're going to go take a look at the game on Steam, just to show you guys anything else that I might have missed, or who knows, I might encounter something here that would be useful to show. As you can also see, people get XP. You need a lot of XP to level, by the way. And leveling up makes a huge difference. Please don't be a curse. Oh, it's loot. Sweet. Do it again. Okay, this is a fairly expansive dungeon, it seems. Yes, we're putting them to sleep. Now, the annoying thing here is this warlock back here. He can resurrect skeletons. And when you get large groups of them together, they can resurrect each other. And they will spam resurrection on each other. He also fires fireballs, which can catch you on fire, and apparently have a fairly high chance of doing so, which basically means you just burn for several rounds of combat. Hello. It's a fire trap. Disarm it. Pathfinder. Save me some time. Go and drink that potion. Again, we're going to disarm rather than have somebody suffer 4 damage a turn. That's like getting hit with a whole attack. Hello! We're putting them to sleep, because this is the first time I've ever seen a 6 enemy fight. Ever. That is a huge fucking number of enemies. Smack him. Whirlwind. Smack him. Ow. 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 Oh, shoot. There goes our primary means of eliminating a lot of enemies. Poison? Yes, no, maybe. Ow. I don't think we're going to complete this one. Oh, he died. That's good news. Ow. Okay, they didn't double team the same guy. Go after him, because he's the one who needs to die. Shoot, he resurrected the guy, which means I can't whirlwind. And I'm stuck doing that, which is bad. I just have to hope I survive. Oh, I do. I do. Whirlwind the hell out of it. I think this is as far as we're going to get for right now. Remember that whole thing I said that you might have to grind a little bit? You might have to grind a little bit. We're going to push. He's immune to the drunk status, which is good. Oh, look. Loot and leave. Just call that one even. Now, this indicates I can go back to this dungeon on heroic mode. So let's go to the first dungeon and go heroic. Just to show you guys what it's like. Pathfinder. To show you the difference in heroic and non-heroic. Fight. So this heroic buff here. Upset. Permanent. I'm not quite sure what it does, but I know it's going to increase his hit points and his attack value. But granted, this is a level 1 enemy. This is a basic enemy. This is the first dungeon that you go into. I'm just doing this to show you guys how heroic mode might differ a little bit. Inspect. Ah! We're cursed. We're on fire. We are on fire. Fire bad. Again, it's another little skeleton. We take a point of damage every turn that we have for 5 turns. Yeah. Instead of 4, it's 5. So heroic mode can be slightly harder. And I've never seen the Pile of Bones enemy, but we will totally fight it head on. Let's do it! As you can see, I'm having a good time. The game is relatively well made. It's simple. But there's a complexity to the strategy and to the ideas of what you should and shouldn't do that lingers on. And there is enough RNG in it to make it seem random, but the combat is pretty static, I would say, as far as what the combat is capable of doing. Okay, we've explored the entire place. We've used no abilities, no potions, nothing. Loot and leave. Already looted. Got the bonus challenge. So that ends heroic mode for that. Heroic mode doesn't really do much for you, but it's there if you want it. Buy all the crafting items, as I've quickly discovered. It's also just, free extra XP, basically. And goal finish first floor, bonus finish all floors. So basically the bonus for finishing all floors would be for me to come in here and just rush all the way through. But that's, this is Dungeon Rushers. Is it fun? Yes. Is it challenging? Very. There are times when you just have to go, screw it, I'm retreating. And that's what you do. You just have to absolutely go, screw it, I am running away. I am considering doing a full series on this, but right now we just have a brutally honest review. And I'm going to make up for the other 2 brutally honest reviews I promised this week. Just give me a second to get to it, guys. I promise. But let's go take a look at the Steam store page for Dungeon Rushers to see exactly what they promise. Alright, so here we have it. Dungeon Rushers. As you can see, I'm obviously missing this orc character right here. And this 5th character down here. And as you can see, there's other characters as well, which means that I'm missing quite a few characters. Which is one of the reasons why you can go back and do other dungeons, is to level up those new characters. Is when you get them, they're level 1. Now, so far I've encountered just skeletons, but there are apparently goblins as well. And more is coming out about the game. Dungeon Rushers is a 2D tactical RPG combining dungeon crawler gameplay and turn-based fights. Manage your team, loot dusty dungeons, crush armies of monsters, and craft mighty equipment. Be part of the epic adventure with a colorful cast of characters in an offbeat universe. Build your dungeon and challenge other players as well. So there is a PvP element you can go do. In addition to this, I found the jokes to be quite funny. The dwarf is a tax collector, because apparently tax collecting requires armor and a hammer. The kid is he's just some random farm boy who decided to go out and go dungeon hunting. The bard is someone who apparently uses the back doors to dungeon to try to come in and steal the loot after you've cleared it out. And there are more characters that I have yet to meet. Again, it's delivering what it promised. It's executing it very well. So far, I have no real complaints. Sometimes the fights do seem unfair. And it feels like there is going to be an element of going back to old dungeons and having to grind rather than just play. As you can see, the game goes live on May 11th. I have to keep my mouth shut about the game until May 10th. Well, guess what? Today's the 10th. Mouth open. And I've genuinely had a good time so far. But I want to know what you guys think. And I would like to know if you guys would like to see a series of it or not. I don't think it's the most entertaining thing to watch, which is why I'm kind of hesitant to jump into feet first. But I'll leave it up to you guys. And I'm not really one to give a rating. If you absolutely have to have a rating, fine. I would say 4.1, 4.2 out of 5. It might change your mind about this style of genre. It might not. But at the end of the day, it's just plain fun. And it is a joy to have such a interesting little indie game come along that doesn't require super complex graphics or super complex systems to achieve a level of complexity that requires thought and is willing to punish you for screwing up or trying to take stuff that you're not ready for. The game is rather unforgiving. Granted, the game over screen just resets you to the point where you were just before you walked into that dungeon. But there you have it. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then leave a like. I would like to see at least 25 likes on this if you guys want a series, and I would like to see at least 8 to 10 comments that say I want to see a series of this game before I'm willing to do an entire series. So that is what I would like to see. I'd like to see the popular demand for it before I go through with it. But in the meantime, here's the previous Brutally Honest review for you guys. Go check it out if you want to laugh at a terrible game. If you would like to see more stuff by me, you can subscribe. There's a big red button. I appreciate all my subscribers. I talk to you guys. I bring you into TeamSpeak. All that wonderful stuff. I'm very accessible. I promise. And if you thought something else, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Or if you want me to pass some information along to the dev, I can probably do that too. But lastly, if you want to support the channel, there's Patreon. Every patron after 2 months gets to be a moderator if you so desire during my live streams. And otherwise, you can check out the ad at the end of the video. In the meantime, from my house to yours, this is Fiaura signing out for right now. And I will see all of your lovely faces next time. Bye-bye, everyone.